Welcome back to Rodecast, guys. Hope you're doing well out there. I'm your host, Rod, as always. And in this video, we're going to be looking at another local station, this time coming from Kentucky, where the whole purpose of the interview that we're going to look at right now was to demonize ICE, starting with the fact that they're interviewing a 10-year-old who was treated with the utmost respect by the ICE agents, as you will see when you get the details of this story. But nevertheless, they decided to do this segment. And the whole point is to try to get sympathy for the illegals and their anchor babies. They're literally interviewing an anchor baby here who was left behind after an ICE operation. And instead of blaming the illegal alien who broke into our country, which is her dad, they're trying to blame ICE agents and demonize them and trying to basically use the fact that a kid was involved in this story as ammunition to try to attack the ICE operation, apparently because for some reason they love the illegals and they want them to stay in America. And that's why they did this news segment in the first place. They have the right to have that opinion, and I have the right to criticize their open borders opinion. And that's what I'm doing in this video.
Fifth grade.
You're about to go to middle school.
Yeah.
Wednesday's drive to school started like any other for Julieta Carmona Garcia. The fifth grader from Cochran Elementary says she sat up front,
My sister was talking with my dad.
her 7-year-old sister in back, and dad Ernesto was behind the wheel.
When we talking, that thing happened.
But one stop from school, a day like any other.
They passed on the front and the back of the car of my dad.
So they blocked your car in?
They blocked my car in. And then my dad said, what is happening?
Became one like none other.
I asked my dad, and my dad said the immigration. And I was so scared. I thought that I can never live here, and I never again I see my dad.
You thought
Yeah, so she probably knew that he was doing something wrong. That's why she was so scared. Again, by the way, this one is an anchor baby born in America. Yet nevertheless, she still has that horrific terrorist accent. It could be 3 generations, 4 generations. They can never get rid of this hideous Mexican accent or Spanish accent. Okay. It's, no words. Okay. But that's one of the many reasons I don't want to hear or see any of these people here. But nevertheless, Ernesto is probably very happy because he's going back to Mexico, and you'll see that there's a giant Mexican flag right there. Great. Seems like your dad loves Mexico and he's going back there now. Okay. And this one is an anchor baby. So technically she's a citizen according to the laws right now, until we get rid of the 14th Amendment protections for anchor babies through the revocation of birthright citizenship. Hopefully that happens by next year. But nevertheless, for now, she's a citizen. But nevertheless, she can go back with her dad. Okay, she doesn't need to be scared. She can go be with her dad. There's nothing stopping her. Okay, her mom can put her on a plane and send her back to Mexico. And her dad, he's definitely going back to Mexico. He's an economic migrant, broke into this country, no asylum, no nothing. He's going back.
I was so scared. I thought that I can never live here, and I never again I see my dad.
you thought you
Yeah, she can live here because, like I said, she was born here, so she's a citizen for now. Her dad is not going to be here, but you can go see your dad in Mexico. Nobody's stopping you. Okay, this interviewer never says any of those things. Okay, she can respond in a neutral way and give answers. He doesn't have to take a side. Although by doing this very interview, he's taking a side. He never talked to any ICE agents or even presented their statement. Okay. But nevertheless, he did talk to the illegal. He went to the illegal's house and talked to his family. Okay, so we can see where this reporter and WDRB stands when it comes to the immigration debate. They're in favor of illegal aliens being in our country.
weren't going to see your dad.
Never.
Oh, you're
And also pay attention to the tone of voice he's using. He's trying to make us cry. There should be like a little violin playing in the background because of just the tone that he's using. He sounds like he's about to cry. Okay, look at the questions he asked. Look at the way he asked them. It's all to make the subject here seem sympathetic, which it's a kid, so it's already sympathetic, and trying to demonize what ICE did here.
You thought you weren't going to see your dad.
Never.
Are you afraid now?
Look, he's trying to get the audience to cry with these questions. Listen to these questions, how biased they are.
You thought you weren't going to see your dad.
Never.
Are you afraid now
Yes.
that you're not going to see him again?
I don't know too if I see him again.
Court records show ICE booked 37-year-old Ernesto Carmona Torres into the Oldham County Jail on an ICE detainer. As rumors swirled online about ICE at Cochrane, JCPS sent this letter to families, saying law enforcement was never in our school. Julietta
That's right.
says they didn't go in the front door, but they did drive her the rest of the way to campus.
Immigration with mask, they take her to the school.
Hold on, go. So the person in the mask drove your dad's car?
Mm-hmm.
The letter to parents says the vehicle was left in the parking lot. A family friend later picked the kids and the car up.
There is just a
Did you guys get that? So the agents, after taking the illegal, which is their job to arrest people who broke into the country, they did their job of arresting her dad, who was an illegal alien. That's his problem and also her problem, but not ICE's problem. They did their job. And then they took the kid to school. So nothing happened to the kid. They took her to the school. She went to school like any other day. And then they left the car in the parking lot. They didn't take his car, let the parents know and the school know about the fact that his property was left in the parking lot. The kids saved, the car safe. The illegal was taken because that's ICE's job. You literally can't do a much more professional job than that. Nobody was hurt. Literally the most professional ICE operation I've ever seen. Okay. And yet they're still complaining. Okay. This guy, the black guy here, is trying to get elicit empathy and sympathy from us for the illegal alien because of the fact that he had a 10-year-old kid. When the ICE agents did nothing to the kid's perfectly safe, as you can see. And by her own admission, they took her to school and left the car behind. The fact that he chose to do this interview at all is evidence of their hatred towards ICE, because nothing of reporting value happened here. This was a typical ICE operation where an illegal alien who's not supposed to be in our country was arrested by immigration. Okay, there's nothing to cover here. The kid's safe, the car's safe, everything went exactly as it should. A law enforcement operation, so there's no reason for this interview to be posted, and there's no reason for this station to do this interview other than to demonize ICE by using a 10-year-old. That's the only purpose of this interview. Nothing happened to the kid. It'd be one thing if the kid was hurt or something. That would be something reporting worthy, but that didn't happen here. So you can see their intent.
In the mask drove your dad's car?
Mm-hmm.
The letter to parents says the vehicle was left in the parking lot. A family friend later picked the kids and the car up.
there is just a tremendous fear right now.
Adrian Trivedi's an immigration attorney in Louisville, not representing.
Spaghetti eating Trivedi is repeating the same BS line. Okay. There's so much fear. Yeah, because there's a million illegals everywhere in every city you go to. That's why there's fear. Trivedi, you Italian idiot. That's why. Okay. What is the point of repeating this over and over? Do you think that anything is going to change by saying, oh, there's so much fear? Like that again, designed to elicit a response. Oh my God, look, the poor illegals are afraid. Yes, I hope they are afraid. I hope they are afraid. I want them to be afraid and run away back to where they came from. That's the whole point. Fear is part of Kristi Noem's technique here. And it's a great one because there have been millions of self-deportations. There have been more self-deportations than there have actually been ICE deportations where they actively drag someone away. The whole point is for there to be fear. So they run back to where they came from. Because I got news for you, Trivedi, they're not supposed to be in this country at all. Okay, so fear is the least they can expect.
There is just a tremendous fear right now.
Adrian Trivedi's an immigration attorney in Louisville, not representing Carmona Torres.
The system is chaotic. The law changes almost on a daily basis, right? And so people are terrified of being detained and put into this system. And we as practitioners are doing our best to help people.
The latest reports from
that the system is that way by design. That's another tool that they're using to deter people from coming here and the people who are already here to leave as soon as possible. That you don't understand what's happening here, Trivedi? This is the maximum pressure campaign that's being exerted by all levels at this point, okay? From DHS to ICE to ERO to all of the different segments of DHS, which ICE is part of DHS, that do their own thing, but nevertheless, they fall under DHS. This is the plan, okay? To put a maximum pressure on you and also your client so that you run back to where you came from because we don't want you here. That's the ultimate thing that they apparently don't understand. Okay, they're surprised that there's changing laws and more pressure being put on immigrants. because we don't want you here. That's the message that you should be getting. This is not your country. You have no right to be here. I don't know why you think your clients have a right to be here. Immigration lawyers specifically think that everybody around the world has a right to come to America, despite the fact that none of these disgusting people built America. Their ancestors didn't build this country, but somehow they think they have a privilege and a right to come here. Who gave you this right? I didn't give it to you. Nobody in America gave it to you. You're just breaking into our land. That's what you're doing. And we're not okay with that. That's why we support ICE, getting you the hell out of here. Your clients, I'm talking.
Track immigration shows 65,000 people in detention as of last month. We know of 1,300 ICE arrests between January and July in Kentucky, and that's up 30% from the same time last year, all under President Trump's immigration crackdown.
We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country.
And while the administration says it's focusing on criminals, data shows 73% of current detainees have no criminal convictions. The only thing on Carmona Torres' record is a DUI from 2022.
Yeah, their crime is that they're foreigners in America. Okay. And they might have other crimes too. But nevertheless, for me, I don't care if they have violent records or not. This thing over here is not supposed to exist on my land. You get that? He doesn't have the right blood. He doesn't have the right ancestry, and he doesn't belong in this country. Same way I don't belong in Mexico because I'm not a Mexican. Get it? Everybody and everything has its place in nature. And people like this, they want to violate nature's laws by breaking into other people's country. This is George Washington's Anglo-Saxon country. And this Aztec mixed with a Spaniard doesn't belong in this country. That's the bottom line for me. Okay, that means get him out. His very existence here is a crime against me and my ancestors. Get that? When you can understand that, you will understand why all of this is happening. Because we don't want them here.
For which he paid a fine.
Has he ever been deported before?
¿Ustedes ha sido deportado alguna vez?
No.
No.
Julieta's mom was in the room during this interview.
Well, he's going to be deported now. So there you go. He's going to have an order of deportation if he doesn't have one already, which I don't know if this kid knows. And the mom doesn't want to be on camera because she's likely an illegal as well.
She declined to go on camera. She says Carmona Torres did not have legal permanent resident status in the U.S., but her kids, 10, 7, and 2, were all born here.
I want they
3 anchors dropped as soon as he got here. Disgusting. And this is exactly why we need to overturn the 14th Amendment protections for these anchor babies, who are technically born here, but their parents are criminals, so they should be going back with their parents.
noticed that my dad is a good person. Is not a bad person.
And they're big.
Yeah, this kid doesn't understand, but this is not about your daddy being a bad person. I don't care what kind of person he is. He's a person who belongs in Mexico. That's all I can tell you. Okay, because he's a Mexican. Just like you. All of you belong, your whole family belongs in Mexico.
Biggest fear is they'll now be left behind.
Again, you don't have to be left behind. You can go back to Mexico with your dad and your mom. You can be a family there. I don't know why everybody around the world thinks that they have a right to break into this country and have a family and do all the things that regular Americans do. It's like me telling Mexicans that I have a right to come into their country and stay forever and have a family and use all their benefits. How insane would that be? Some random white guy breaking into your country. I have no rights in Mexico. And if I ever said that, that would be insane. Because that's such entitlement. But that's exactly what these people have. Okay, starting with the kid and ending with the dad and the mom and the station who's trying to help them out. Okay, somehow everybody around the world, despite the fact that their ancestors didn't even build this country, have a right to come here. It's like me building a house and then random people off the street wanting to come into my house, despite the fact that they don't pay for the house, they didn't build the house, they have nothing to do with me, but they just want to come and stay in my house. That's an accurate analogy to what's happening with this immigration debate. Random people who have no right to be in America want to come here and stay forever and get all the opportunities that we have, the foundational people. It's absolute insanity, okay? If you ever want to understand why people on my side, on the conservative side, are so mad about this, if you're on the left, you're trying to help people break into my country. That's why we're mad, into our property. That's why we're mad, okay? So try with your little brains to understand that before commenting dumb stuff in my comment section. That's all I got to say for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in my next one, as always.